Welcome back, everyone. The Magic Keyboard 3s actually just came out. Technically, I don't think they're calling them the Keyboard 3s, but what better time to talk about the predecessor, the Magic Keyboard 2s, than right now? Now, funny enough, I was going to make this video yesterday, but I didn't even know we were going to get new Magic Keyboards, which is so crazy. So I will definitely tell you, if Apple ends up selling the Magic Keyboards 3s themselves, I would recommend buying those. But these Magic Keyboard 2s still have so much capability that in reality, the only difference that the Magic Keyboard 3s have than the 2s is that Touch ID sensor, which is really cool in my opinion. Other than that, I think the Magic Keyboard 2s are still very solid pickups. This is the keyboard that I use on an everyday basis. I have two of these, one for this device, one for a 5K iMac that I barely ever use, but I still use it sometimes. And this is a solid keyboard for sure. This is the device, like I mentioned, I use it for everything. Anytime I type anything that have my MacBook docked up, this is the device that I use. And I've been using it for many years now. This thing originally came out in 2015, so it's definitely not a brand new thing anymore. But when you think about a keyboard that's 6 years old, this device looks timeless. And Apple knocked it out of the park with not only the Magic Keyboard 2, but the Magic Trackpad 2 as well. Those are solid devices, and the fact that you can pick these things up still for $100 is pretty crazy. They're definitely worth $100 in my opinion, considering I bought two of these and they've held the test of time for many years, and I've spilled water on one and it still works completely fine. They're definitely not the most durable, they don't have the craziest amount of features, but for a stable keyboard that's really never let me down, I think it's very solid in my opinion. Now, to give you kind of some perspective, before I bought this keyboard, I actually would buy $20 Amazon keyboards, Bluetooth ones that were very faulty, and I didn't want to spend $100 in a brand new one. I was I'll just rather buy a $20 one. It looks almost the same. Those things, I would break so many of those things in a matter of months. Within 3, 4, 5 months, the connection wouldn't be as stable, random things would go wrong, the keys wouldn't click in properly, and it was a very annoying thing, and I hated it so much. Then essentially I just bit the bullet and I bought the Magic Keyboard 2, and I can tell you, I love this thing. I have very few issues with it. And this is one of those massive things that you have to keep in mind, that when you buy a Magic Keyboard, you are buying a device set for the future. And to kind of give you even some more insight on that, there's a lot of people I know that still use the original Magic Keyboard, the ones that you actually have to plug in batteries with and everything. And that's a pretty massive thing to keep in mind. I think if you're going to buy something like this, you want it for the longest amount of time possible. And for sure, getting something like a Magic Keyboard 2 is going to be doing you a very solid justice for sure. Now, on top of this, my battery life on these devices is extremely solid as well. I've said this time and time again for so many years. The Magic Keyboard 2's battery life is so good. It's very solid. I've had very little issues with it. And if you're buying a keyboard, you want to keep it for as long as possible, but you want the battery life to be as good as possible as well. And this is one of those keyboards that's going to do you a solid thing for sure. It's going to last you for a very long time in battery life. I charge it probably once per month, and even then I don't really need to charge it too often. I feel like I charge my Magic Trackpad more than my keyboard, to be honest, but my keyboard 2 lasts for a very long amount of time. And the fact that it has that lightning port on the back, you don't have to use some proprietary keyboard charging port for this. You just plug the thing in the back and it charges, and you can use it while you charge it. Same thing with the Trackpad 2, unlike the Magic Mouse 2, which is such a dumb design, but this Magic Keyboard 2 has that capability, which I think is really awesome. Now, I think the main question is, what's the future of this keyboard? Well, we now actually know. For years we didn't really know, but now we have the successor to this thing, which is the Magic Keyboard 3, and it just looks like it just brought Touch ID. There's no backlights, there's no nothing like that. It's very stock. There's no crazy feature besides Touch ID, and that's for the top tier model. There's also another model that just has a locking screen key, which I think is cool, but for sure when it comes down to it, I think the Magic Keyboard 2, this is a keyboard I see myself using until it breaks. And then when it breaks, I will probably get a Keyboard 3, or I may just stick with the Keyboard 2. There's not that many crazy differences. This is not a gaming keyboard. This is not a keyboard I would recommend to people if they're trying to get the best value per dollar. But it's the best keyboard I've ever used. I've used a lot of cheap ones. I've seen some more expensive ones. None of them, I don't really care about my keyboard. I just want something that works and is stable. And for the things that I do and for whatever I do in my life, this keyboard does a great job. And I'm looking at some reviews I've done early on. I think my earliest review of this thing was in 2018, but I think I bought it in 2017 or 2016, and I've been using it ever since. And it's a very solid keyboard. Like I said, I have two of them, and both of them are very solid in my opinion. So if you want to pick one of these things up, like I always mention, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. But that really pretty much covers it up. If If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, leave them down in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.